Hey, all you beautiful people out there, and welcome to another John Pendleton rebuttal. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe for my fans and subscribers? Welcome back. If you are new, thanks for checking me out and giving me a chance. So, anyway, if you like this kind of content, why don't you go ahead and subscribe to me? I'm sure you won't be disappointed. And why don't you go ahead and check out the other videos I've already uploaded? Speaking of getting on with the video, grab your popcorn and your facepalm gear, get comfortable, and let's go pummel some creationism nonsense.
Greetings again. I'm chemist John Morris Pendleton, and this is our third and final conference about dinosaurs. And we've been seeing some fantastic, interesting things that we didn't know before that are just revolutionizing our thoughts about dinosaurs, and also a bunch of the untruths that we've been taught, and also seeing more of the truth of God's Word. And even more so today, because today we're going to take a look at, well, where are the dinosaurs in the Bible? Obviously, the word isn't there. If you use the King James Version, which is what I use, and I really like it, is the word dinosaur couldn't be in there because the King James Version was made in 1611. The word dinosaur wasn't made until 1841. In fact, we had computer and rockets. They were in the dictionary before dinosaur even was. But anyway, if God made Adam and Eve and dinosaurs all together, where are there dinosaurs in the Bible? So you've been saying you've been learning some new things about dinosaurs. Well, you might be learning some new things about dinosaurs, Don, if you're teaching a bunch of kindergarten kids. As for the untruths, no, you're the one that's telling untruths. I don't know why it's so hard for young earthers to admit that they're wrong about the age of the earth being in the Bible, because it's not. Also, I don't know why it's so hard for young earthers to admit that they're wrong about evolution. Guys, just say you're wrong. Easy peasy. But of course, they're not going to do that because they're too proud. What does God say about pride? Pride goes before a fall. But, yeah, and you say we're proud? We're not the ones that say we're just a little bit lower than the angels. But I'm getting off topic. Where was I again? Oh, yeah, truth. Truth is not contained in the Bible, John. Come on. That is an old book, but even if it wasn't old, we'd still say it wasn't true because it is not true. Truth is not defined by what you think is nice or what you want to believe. Truth is that which comports to reality. That's Apologia's definition, by the way. And the Bible does not comport with reality. Wake up and smell the coffee. Where are dinosaurs found in the Bible? Well, the short answer, John, is they're not. But I get to excoriate you on this point and bring out all the lies that the young earthers bring to the table on this. Bring it on. Where are there dinosaurs in the Bible? Let me invite you to look with me in the book of Job, chapter 40. Now, Job lived after the flood, and I believe before Moses and Abraham. And so, as we look there in Job chapter 40, it's God who is speaking to Job and giving him lectures and teachings and instruction on a number of different things. And starting in verse 15, he says to Job, "Behold now Behemoth, which I made with you. He eats grass as an ox, as a cow or a bull. He eats grass. What about, well, first of all, he was created by God, as was Job. Verse 16, Lo now, his strength is in his loins, and his force is in the navel of his belly. This guy was fat. He had a big stomach, and he ate grass. What else? Let's look at verse 18. His bones are as strong pieces of brass. His bones are like bars of iron. Wow. This guy ate grass. He was really fat. He was really big. He was really strong. He was really heavy. What animal could it have been?
Okay, so this animal was big, fat, and ate grass. John, if you can't think of animals that are like that, you're probably not trying very hard. So there is some confusion as to what behemoth may be. This is to be expected because the Bible isn't very clear. However, scholars, for the most part, believe behemoth to be a primordial monster, along with Leviathan. Some believe it to be a hippopotamus or an elephant, but this interpretation has problems of its own. However, it is not a sauropod like the young earthers want to make it out to be. They get this interpretation from its tail moves like a cedar. However, you will find that the Bible says the tail moves like a cedar and not is the size of a cedar. This is what they think. They think it says size and it means move. Also, don't you think it's odd that the description of this animal is found in a chapter in the Bible where God is having a temper tantrum because Job has the audacity to question him? Job 40 also says the lotuses conceal it in their shadows. Now, I'm using the NIV for this. Now, tell me, John, how could a sauropod fit under a lotus? I know by now that I shouldn't be surprised at how much stupidity comes out of that mouth, but I still am.
Okay, how many of you have heard of the Loch Ness Monster? Now, I don't believe in this photograph we're showing you here. This is just one of those make-up ones to sell this tabloid newspaper. But the thing is, as far as the Loch Ness Monster, he has been sighted over the last 100 years 11,000 times. One of the park guards who worked there 30 years has seen the Loch Ness Monster 18 times. Different people have seen the Loch Ness Monster on land 17 times. In 1934, a veterinarian student, Arthur Grant, almost crashed into this Loch Ness Monster at night as he was riding his motorcycle along the path next to the lake.
John, when did anyone decide that plesiosaurs, of which Nessie is supposed to be one, were amphibious? Was that just a unilateral decision on your part? So the Loch Ness Monster, also known as Nessie, garnered worldwide attention in 1933. Uh, and Loch Ness is in Scotland. So I don't even know why I'm bothering to do this. I guess I'm just a masochist. Anywho, um, there's a photo, the first photo of Nessie, taken in 1934, called the Surgeon's Photo. It is a certified hoax, and actually, we haven't found a certified photo. Also, I have to wonder, why did it only come to worldwide attention in 1933? Supposedly, this thing is a plesiosaur, meaning it's been around like forever. And we've had Scottish here in America for as long as America's been here. At any rate, John, if Nessie is real and if Nessie is a plesiosaur, two big ifs, by the way, that does not disprove evolution. It just means that plesiosaurs still exist. Also, I gotta say, if the Loch Ness Monster has been seen that many times, why isn't there an authentic photograph or an authentic film showing the Loch Ness Monster? And I gotta ask, why did you show a picture of a drawing made by the vet student who almost crashed into the Loch Ness Monster, according to him, on his bike at night? Where's all that skepticism about it's just a drawing? Could it be, John, that you only use that when it suits you? Why don't you pick one standard and stick with it, John? You'd be more believable. Not that much more believable, considering you believe all this cryptozoology crap, but at least a little more believable than you are right now.
Our oldest daughter lived in Denver, and a couple of years ago, the pastors of her church went to Scotland, and the wife told me that while she was there, she went on the tour bus along Lake Loch Ness. And she said, John, when the bus turned around to go back to its initial starting point, I looked out over the lake and I saw this gigantic snake in the water. Then I realized I had seen the Loch Ness Monster. John, I believe in the Loch Ness Monster. I saw it. I saw it.
Okay, first things first. Loch means lake in Scottish. The Scottish are not English, John. The Scottish have their own language. How have you gotten to where you are and have not figured that out yet? Second of all, why are we hearing a story about your daughter's pastor's wife? Um, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, maybe you're thinking she holds more weight because she's a pastor's wife, but I don't get the point. Third and final point. She said she saw a gigantic snake. You just showed two drawings of the Loch Ness Monster that you say were taken from eyewitnesses. I'm not even going to go there. Let's just go with it. And yes, people, I am aware that some snakes are born with vestigial legs, but they do not look anything like the flippers that were shown on John's quote unquote pictures, which he shouldn't even be using as evidence because he's already said pictures aren't evidence. But the final point, John, is she said she saw a gigantic snake. Now, how in her mind did she leap from a gigantic snake to the Loch Ness Monster? You do know that snakes can swim, right? Now, I'm not sure what kind of snakes they've got in Scotland. You know, probably not snakes as big as anacondas. Um, I also, you don't even tell us if this was like Twilight. Even if we were to give her the massive benefit of the doubt that she saw what she said she saw, it does make quite a bit of difference what time of day it was, John.
Do you see the dinosaur footprints? Ponder that for a minute. So this is Denny Capps. He's the geologist at Denali National Park, and he's pondering some dinosaur tracks right there. And I'll give you a little hint. So what he's looking at there is a layer of rocks that are not any longer laying horizontally. They're actually tipped up a bit on angle. And One of them is a big bed of very coarse sandstone. And what his hand is on there is the bottom of the bed of sandstone that's been tipped up. So it's kind of like looking almost up underneath from the ground at the bottom of this layer. And I'm going to give you a hint. Okay, watch this. Whoop. Hey, oh, whoa. Did you see that?
So I was watching a documentary on YouTube and I decided to clip this little bit out and share it with you. Wasn't sure where to put it because I hadn't seen this when I was doing my dinosaur footprints. So since I'm doing Nessie, let's just put it here. My purpose in clipping this is to show not only that you can have pareidolia with seeing things, but the opposite can happen. You can not see things that are there. Now, I have very poor eyesight even with glasses, so you may see it. If you can see them, good for you, but I couldn't until they were pointed out with outlines. Now, paleontology is not only visual, but it is also tactile, meaning that they could touch these prints. So even people who could not see them the first time could feel them. My point in showing this is that in order to see things, you don't necessarily need to be an expert, but you do need to be an expert in order to parse things out to say this is pareidolia, this is not pareidolia. And no, I did not intentionally go looking for this. And no, I'm not trying to put anybody down who is not an expert, but can clearly see that these creationists have major cases of pareidolia on their hands. I just want to point out that sometimes it does take an expert to parse these things out. So, with that out of the way, I guess I will throw it back to you, John, for some more blubbering idiocy.
Going further west, we have an area above Seattle and Vancouver in Canada called Lake Okanagan. And since the time of the native Canadians, they've had Ogopogo. Those of you that do a search on the internet, just type in Ogopogo. You got all kinds of websites and information about Ogopogo you can find. Now, the best sightings of Ogopogo are these two photographs that we have. This first one, I want you to notice just left of center, the large sailboat there on the water. And in front of that sailboat, you can see a line of wave, just one wave. Something is moving just below the surface of the water, creating one large wave. Now in the next photograph, that sailboat, because of the movement of the boat we're on, and the sailboat is further to the right, but that wave has come closer to us. Something big is moving a lot of water close to the surface of the water. That's one of the best photographs we've been able to locate until this time.
So I actually had to go looking for a picture of Ogopogo because unlike Nessie, I had no idea what Ogopogo was supposed to look like. This is what I found. You know what I thought of right off the bat? An overgrown sea snake. Obviously, I don't buy the overgrown bit, but it is a sea or a lake in this instance. And, people misperceive things all the time. However, snakes can swim, and there are snakes that are in the sea. So I honestly don't know why you bring up this issue of Ogopogo because it just looks like an oversized sea snake to me. And, people misperceive things all the time, John. Your argument with Nessie is that Nessie is a plesiosaur, but Ogopogo, assuming it's real for once, doesn't even look like a plesiosaur. So I don't even know what your point is with this. And now to address your quote unquote picture. John, that is not a quote-unquote picture of Ogopogo. That is a picture of a wave on a lake. And waves happen on lakes, just like they happen in the ocean. So what is your point? Honestly, John, you don't even know what you're trying to say here.
In the Congo, Africa, we have one of the largest swamps of the world, 7.5 million acres. And in that swamp, for over a century now, we have reports of sightings of Mokele Membe. In their language, it translates, he that blocks the river. It's related that some of the natives captured and killed one of these Mokele Membes, tasted the flesh, they didn't like it, abandoned the carcass there. There are people that want to get into the Congo to do some investigating on that abandoned carcass. There's a number of internal problems in the Congo that doesn't make, and of course it's not really convenient. There's no super highway going through this world's largest swamp.
Okay, now we're moving on to Mokele Membe. Um, I also had to look this one up because I wasn't too familiar with it. Uh, it does seem like cryptozoologists say it's an apatosaur. I must say, however, that I think it is hilarious that the only people looking for this so-called animal are cryptozoologists and young earth creationists and not any serious scientists. But for sake of argument, let's say this animal exists. You, John, said that Mokele Membe translates into he that blocks the river. Now, let's just think about this. Of the animals that can block rivers, what are they? Keep in mind that we're in Africa with the Congo, and Africa has the largest land mammals of any continent. So, not really much to say that there are animals that can block rivers now, is it? You know, the very first animal that comes to my mind when I think of something blocking the river? A hippo. Yeah, a hippo. That's the first thing that comes to my mind, John, not an apatosaur. But let's branch out a bit, shall we? Let's not just zero in on hippos. What else can block the river? An elephant. An elephant can block a river, John. And what else can do it? A crocodile. Granted, crocodiles are not mammals. However, you must first prove that this Mokele Membe is not a hippo, an elephant, or a crocodile before we go to any cryptozoology kind of fanaticism. You also said that the people killed this animal, tasted the flesh, and didn't like it. And so when things calm down and scientists are able to get in to study things again, they can obviously kill this animal again for the scientists to study. Not that I approve of people killing living things just to kill living things to study them, but you know, hey, they obviously know where these animals live, so they can show the scientists, and the scientists can then make up their mind whether they want to study them or not and dart them. The point being, John, is that eyewitness testimony is not, was not, and never will be scientific proof of anything. If you want us to believe you, you need physical evidence, and you don't have it. Well, thank goodness that's over. You know, debunking all this bullshit is really depressing. I mean, really depressing. I know I chose to do it, but it is depressing. So I'm going to watch some kitten videos and lift my spirits. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. If you're already subscribed, please make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube loves to unsubscribe people. Leave a like on the video if you liked it and a comment down below, and I'll talk to you later. Well, that's all for this absolute train wreck of a video. Hope to see you on the next debunked train wreck.